Is it ever okay to tell someone that Is it ever okay to tell someone that they downgraded when they get a new partner? Or does it depend on what they've done to their previous partner? G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/AmITheA. Now, if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and get ready for it. Let's go. Am I the asshole for telling my brother he downgraded? My 28 female brother, Mike, 33 male, was married to Lisa, 31 female, for 4 years, until last year when he was caught cheating with Penny, 29 female. My ex-sister-in-law was reserved, sweet, and was straight edge. No alcohol or drugs. Mike loves to party and went to court-ordered rehab before he was even 21. When Mike met Lisa, he sobered up, got an apprenticeship, and really turned his life around. He also threw that all away on Penny. Penny knew he was married. She got him crap-faced, and that is how the affair started. Penny is loud, disgusting, obnoxious, and encourages my brother to drink. He thinks she is just so fun and the life of the party. We were at a family party this weekend, and Mike and Penny were there. Some cousins we hadn't seen in years were there, and were introduced to Penny. Mike introduced her as his upgrade. Cue major side-eye from me. My brother noticed and pulled me aside later. He asked why the attitude. Penny was clearly an upgrade. I asked him to explain that comment. She's blonde, curvy, and fun, whereas Lisa looked like a librarian with no chest. I decided to clear things up for him. Penny is obnoxious, rude, slovenly, her hair is poorly bleached, and she smells like fungus. No one looks at her like a prize to be won. No one is jealous of him, which he thinks they are. His best friends won't even talk to him anymore because Penny made a dead baby joke to his wife after a miscarriage. I let him know that he actually chose alcohol over his ex. Penny just encouraged him to do it because she had a crush on him for years. He called me a tramp, and I told him samesies. Pretty sure I'm the asshole in this one, to be honest. Edit. Pretty disappointed with myself for going after her looks though. Felt very immature after the fact. I'm going to just silently judge my brother's choices from afar from now on. And to those saying that I need to accept my brother's partner, lol, no I don't. I just won't be involved. I really did love my sister-in-law, and I really don't like how she was treated. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the arsehole. I think I may be the arsehole because I told my white trash brother that his even trashier girlfriend ain't a prize to be won. Now in the comments, not the arsehole. Your brother picked someone who makes dead baby jokes to his best friend after a trauma, costing him the friendship. That is not an upgrade. While I do agree with everything you say, I don't know. For some reason, something about calling a human an upgrade versus downgrade just doesn't sit well with me. It almost feels as though you value them less as a person, which I think is incorrect. Everyone sucks here in my opinion. I value someone who makes dead baby jokes to people who just had a miscarriage less than I value other, less cruel people. I value people who encourage addicts to relapse less. I may be an asshole for that, but I'm okay with it. Not the asshole. Sounds like Penny is a downgrade, but it's the grade that Mike deserves. Not the asshole. In most cases, I would say the comment would not have been appropriate, but given the history that you mention, you gave him your honest opinion and had every right to share your disgust over his behavior and actions. Our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for calling my dad's girlfriend his mistress? My mum died of a brain aneurysm 2 years ago. She was 39 at the time. She and Dad, Ben 42 male, were no longer together before she died because Dad had an affair with his work colleague Amanda 37 female. They were getting a divorce, but Mum died before it was finalized. I was 18 when Mum died, and to be honest, I resented my dad because of the heartache he caused my mother, and I blamed him for her death. After Mum's funeral, I refused to talk to him until recently. He contacted me and we started to reconnect. He and Amanda are still together, and I've started to accept their relationship because I saw how happy my father is with her. Last month, Dad informed me that he and Amanda had gotten engaged, and he wanted to let me know first before he shares the news to everyone. I told him I am happy for them. Last week, they had an engagement party where they invited some of our relatives and friends. During the toast, Dad said something like, "I just can't wait to marry the perfect woman. I thank God for giving me the love of my life after all those years that I wasted with someone else." I walked out of the room after hearing what my father said. He basically considered his marriage to my late mother a waste of his time. It broke my heart, and I wanted to leave right away, but Dad's friend, my godfather, and Amanda followed me. Amanda said that Dad wants me to give a message, but I told her I can't do that, and I need to go as I feel sick. My godfather tried to convince me to stay and say a few words. I got tired of holding my anger in, and I just said, "I have no good words to say about my cheating father and his mistress. I need to go." Amanda got angry with me and called me an asshole, and I need to get over the past. I didn't even say anything and just left them behind. I was with my boyfriend who picked me up when Dad called, and he was very furious with me. Apparently what I said made Amanda cry, and he's now demanding an apology. He also accused me of ruining his engagement party. I told him I could have made a scene, but I didn't, and there is no way I am apologizing for stating facts. Am I the asshole? Did I overreact and ruin their party? My boyfriend said he understands how I feel, but my grandparents on my dad's side are disappointed with me for overreacting and calling Amanda a mistress. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I think I'm an asshole because what I said made my dad's girlfriend cry, which I think ruined their party. I think my anger was misdirected, and calling Amanda a mistress was an asshole move. Now in the comments, not the asshole. What he said was disgusting. You didn't ruin it. You tried to walk away, and people tried to stop you. F them. I'm so sorry that you had to witness that. And OP replies, "Thank you. And I didn't draw attention to myself. I just left discreetly. You should have gone back in and made a toast. To my cheating father and his mistress, I hope life treats you as good as you have treated others. Now, your waste of time child is going home." Thank you for the realization of why my father didn't invite me to his second wedding. He probably thought that I'd do something like that. I'm now sitting here grinning like hell. By the way, I wouldn't have done it. It would have been unfair to my stepmom. She didn't actually know that he was still married when they first met, and she deserved better than him. Your father stood up and announced to a room full of people that his first marriage, and by extension you, a product of the marriage, was a waste of time. Where is his apology for you? Yes, this. OP, tell your grandparents and father this. Through your godfather if necessary. Your dad has made a series of poor judgment calls in his relationship with you. You have every right to be hurt and angry. If you decide to patch things up with him, you can set boundaries. One is that he never desecrates your mother's memory again. Our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for cancelling my daughter's horse riding camp application after she cancelled her brother's job application?" I'll try to summarize this entire conflict that happened over a month/barely 2 months now. I have 2 children, Mia 16 and Ricky 18. Mia used to work at the local coffee shop for 2 months, but didn't commit nor respect time and had no work ethics. As a result, she got fired, but she didn't accept it and kept begging her former boss to get her job back, but couldn't. She was so heartbroken over losing her first job this way, and besides, the coffee shop is, or used to be, her favorite place. Also, she was saving up to attend a horse riding camp, but didn't have enough money, so I promised to pay for her enrollment and application. A week after she got fired, she learnt that her brother Ricky was trying to get her previous job. She went mad and kept begging me to not let Ricky apply to work at the coffee shop because her friends will find out and say the manager picked her brother over her. I thought that was overdramatic of her, and plus Ricky is the one to decide which place to apply at, so I told her to leave it alone. Mia refused, saying if I don't do something, then she will. Days later, Ricky told me and his mum that someone logged into his email and cancelled his job application at the coffee shop. He said he spoke with the manager and found out someone sent him a rude email pretending to be Ricky, saying he was cancelling his job application and he no longer was interested in working at the shop, adding insults to the coffee shop and the staff and the manager himself, etc., etc. The manager kicked Ricky out and even banned him from the shop completely. I immediately shouted for Mia to come downstairs, and after pressuring her, she admitted sending the rude email to the coffee shop manager to make Ricky lose the job opportunity. She defended herself, saying that she felt awful that Ricky was planning to take her place at the shop and couldn't let it happen. I was mad. I told her I'm automatically cancelling her horse riding camp application and taking the money I paid back. She tried to argue and cried, saying I promised and I knew how much this meant to her, but I said that was an automatic response to what she did, point blank, period. No ifs or buts, besides the fact she had to apologize to Ricky. My wife called me an asshole for not seeing where Mia was coming from and said my love for her was conditional, since I promised to pay for the camp but took the money back as soon as she upset me. Mia hasn't been talking to me for 2 months, except for basic words like goodnight, goodbye, etc. And my wife said Mia has every right not to talk to me ever again if she wanted. I wonder if I went too far, or whether Mia deserved her punishment. I won't even get started on how awful Ricky felt, or is feeling, because he's developed trust issues ever since. And edit, a lot of folks have been asking whether Mia had talked to the manager or explained what she did to her brother. The answer is no, because she refused, saying this would ruin her reputation and threatened to run away if we forced her to talk to the manager. With this threat and my wife's pressure, I had to back off, but I went to see the manager and we talked things out, but still Ricky couldn't get the job unfortunately. Now in the comments, Mad Queen says, "Not the arsehole. She did it to herself. Does your wife usually favor your daughter like this, or is it a new development? You guys should have made her go to the coffee house, explain what she did, and apologize to them, as well as cancel the camp. Does your wife think that there should be no consequences?" And OP replies, "Usually, yes. And in response to that last question, no. My wife thought that I should have used regular punishments, like taking her phone, having her care for the garden and pets for a week, or clean or wash dishes. But I thought this type of punishment wasn't enough, because what she did was not a small mistake. It was permitted, I think permanent. Ricky not only lost a job opportunity, he no longer goes to the coffee shop, which is also his favorite place too. You two need to take a step back and reevaluate Mia's behavior. Poor work ethic, unreliable, lying, vindictive. Ask your wife, is this the person she wants her daughter to be? At 16, she should know better. Obviously, she feels the world should make allowances and excuses for her as much as her mother does. Mia needs to apologize to the coffee shop manager immediately. Perhaps tell her that you would reconsider horse camp if she does so in person and apologizes to her brother. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, she did this to herself. And in my opinion, you should have never paid for it when the only reason she couldn't afford it was because she was being irresponsible. So to top it off, with this behavior, you are not the asshole. Maybe you should make her go and confess to the manager, even if it changes nothing for your son's position. Edit to add, love does not mean they get to have zero consequences. You love her enough to give her consequences for her actions and help her grow into a better person. And our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my husband I'll use my maiden name for our baby if he misses the birth?" So I am 37 weeks pregnant. Due to several health complications during my pregnancy, I've been told multiple times by multiple doctors that I might have to give birth next week as opposed to 2 weeks from now. Furthermore, I may actually go into labor this weekend or any time leading up to it. Due to these same health complications, I'm having a C-section and my doctor does not want me laboring. So should I go into labor, they're most likely pushing me through as an emergency C-section. My husband knows all of this. However, he is holding on to the 2% chance they gave him that the baby could last the 2 weeks. His sister is also pregnant, 4 weeks behind me, and her baby shower is this weekend. It will be over an hour away, and that's without traffic. So weeks ago, I declined for both of us because it didn't seem like a good idea. Well, despite having a long conversation, the shower, which is 2 days away, has come up again. It turned into a fight, as there are multiple reasons that, should I go into labor, it is just a bad situation for him to be that far away. I would list them all, but there's a character limit. Husband wants to go and support his sister and see his family, and he says that I'm keeping him on a short leash for something that probably isn't going to happen. I told him maybe he's right and nothing happens, but said should he choose to go and choose to take that risk, that should I go into labor, he most likely would miss the birth or be extremely late. And if he makes that choice, then I would give the baby my last name, my maiden name versus his family name. Husband said I was an asshole for keeping him hostage, and I'm always planning for the worst case, and that my thoughts are going to trigger labor more than anything. I said if he chooses not to be a part of this, why should the baby bear his name when he would fail on his duty as a father? He has been silent and moody since, only talking when absolutely necessary and saying that I'm trying to take everything from him. So am I the asshole? Now in the comments, not the asshole. I have had several emergency C-sections. Let me state this loud and clear for everyone not understanding it. OP won't get to active labor. It won't be 12 plus hours. The minute she shows any sign of labor, they will immediately go into surgery. An hour will not be enough time to get to the hospital, get scrubbed in, and be there for delivery. In fact, Dad will be the lowest rung on the ladder, and if he's not there when Mama is wheeled in, he won't be taken in. This is not a simple birth. This is a major operation with risks to mother and child. There's no time to be waiting for Dad. There's no allowance for him being late. They will not care about him. So yes, he is 100% the asshole if he goes an hour away from OP and a child that will arrive at literally any time. The fact that he is unbothered by the fact that she would have to go through any part of that process alone is terrible. Dude sounds like he's in straight denial about how precarious his wife's situation is. Even if everything goes perfectly, a C-section is major surgery, and OP needs someone by her side that she can trust to advocate for her while she's too incapacitated to speak for herself, and his failure to be that person for her will put a lasting dent in their marriage. He either doesn't understand how important this is, or doesn't care. And back to the post, OP leaves an update and says, "Had a long doctor's appointment. Husband will not be going to the shower, as not only has it been confirmed I have to deliver next week, but I've also been put on bed rest, so that made the decision for him." He did apologize. We had to have a long conversation. His mother was pressuring a ton of this and guilt-tripping him, primarily about coming down to the shower to see his grandma, who is very old, and it's constantly a question as to how long she has. But we had a long conversation to which it became clear we need to be low contact with mother-in-law for the time being. She has been starting other drama lately, and this was my breaking point. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat in the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.